Hi everyone, it's 5:25 and this is your closing comment for Tuesday the 20th. It's video number 477 and please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate the support. Okay, so we had a bunch of earnings, but we'll get to that in a minute. We had a market, excuse me, that ran up pretty hard. I think the high of the day was up about 379, but we sold all the way back to up about 90. Went back to up 190 and then finished at 113, up 113.37 or 0.4%. The NASDAQ was up about 150. It finished up 37.61 or 0.33. S&P up 16 or 0.47. The Russell up a scant $4.08, which was 0.25%. And the big winner for the day was the transports, up 152.27 or 1.3%. Okay, so let's get to the earnings. We had IBM last night, and I mentioned it this morning, and it was only down about $4. The street decided they really didn't like it, and the stock actually finished down today at 117.37, down 8.15. It was the biggest loser on the Dow, paring 54 Dow points off the average. We also had Philip Morris, which was also a little bit of a disappointment, and that's Philip Morris International. Altria is the U.S. company, or the U.S. only company. So MO finished 73.33, down 4.15 or 5.8%. Procter and Gamble was a beat both top and bottom line, and this morning when we talked about it, it was 144.50 up 249, and it finished pretty much right there, 142.48 up 0.57 or 0.04%. Logitech also from last night. Yesterday and this morning it had traded up as high as 98 off the 80 close. The high was 98.45, but then in the real world the high for the day turned out to be 95.71, although the close was still a substantial gain, 92.50 up 12.52 or 15.6%. And a little one, APTX, this morning with only minor news about its PTSD treatment, was as high as 793. In the real world, the high was 647, and although it finished up on the day, it was pretty meager, 405 up 39 cents. It was 10.6%, but definitely nowhere near what it looked like this morning. Also, Intel, I reported it this morning that it looked like they were going to sell their memory chip business. For yesterday, they were talking about 10 billion. Today, it turned out to be only 9 billion. And the stock, which this morning was basically unchanged, finished the day 53.43, down $1.15 or 2.1%. Excuse me. The big names this afternoon, though, were Netflix and Snap. Netflix missed its worst miss since coming public, and the stock was last trading $4.94, down 36.72, which was 7%, and they also gave negative guidance for next quarter. Snap, on the other hand, was a major beat top and bottom line, and the last there was 34.39, up 570, or just short of 20%. On the Dow, we were 24 up, 6 down. As I mentioned, IBM was the biggest loser, down 54 Dow points. It was also the only double-digit loser. On the gain side, there were only 5 stocks that were double-digit gainers. TRV, Travelers, was up 40, and the rest of them were up less than 16 Dow points. Okay, chart on the screen. The bonds. We are short the bonds. We got short in here before we broke to the downside. And then on Friday, we moved a little lower. Yesterday looked like it might bounce off this area here versus yesterday's low around 174. Because it closed 2/3 up on the range. Today it was never unchanged, and it closed pretty close to the low. It closed 173 and 16/32, so a half. And our TBT calls that cost about 57 cents, I believe, closed close to 90 cents. So that's pretty decent. Bitcoin also took off today. It has been building and building, and 2 weeks ago, all I said in the Sunday report was, I love this chart. Since then, it has continued to move up, even though at the end of the week, it actually closed closer to the bottom on Friday, but still up on the day. So here we went sideways again. This is a daily going back 6 months, and we clearly have broken to the upside. We still have a couple of things in the way here. This close was $12,075. That looks like pretty much the highest close. Let's just check. 12,075, 12,040. Okay. And so here we are, 11,965, and that's actually down a nickel. That's already reopened. But as you can see, it really is trying to move back to the upside. Let's look at a little longer term on weekly, and this is a year, and actually the high close there is 12,935. So today's close of 970 is actually a new high close on a weekly basis. Of course, it's only Tuesday, so it's hard to call it a weekly change. One more chart that I'm going to show you. The oil was up a little, but the big gainer again was nat gas. This has gotten to be a huge trader. We closed at 290. If you recall, I've been pointing out the tops at 92, 92, or 90.50 to 80 at the close, 92.80 on the high, and then last week we got up to 95.5, but we came back in hard. Well, this week is so far an inside week, which is a slightly higher low and a slightly lower high. When I say slightly, we're talking about the high of 95 versus the high, I believe, 95.50. Yeah, 95.50. So looks like we're, getting coiled up here to move substantially higher again. They're really above that 95 is really not very much until you get up around 3.25 in this neighborhood. And at $1,000 a point, that's pretty substantial. I want to remind everyone that if you are interested in trading futures, you ought to let me know. I have a partner now who is probably the best trader that I've ever met in futures, and you don't need an exorbitant amount of money, and you don't have to take exorbitant risks, mostly because futures now trade 23 hours a day, 5.5 days a week. And so you don't generally get into gapped openings in one direction or the other that go against you. All right, everyone. That's about it. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Don't forget to like us and to hit that subscribe button. And as I said, I'll be back in the morning. Have a good evening.